What's up, people? Cypher here. Welcome back to Lost Crusade. Now, I'm here with Void. Void was a content creator for Lost Crusade. He's now in the Lost Crusade official Discord, and he puts out suggestions of ways to better the game for the benefit of all players rather than just the ones with money. Now, I love a lot of his ideas. They're very intricate and they've been thought through. And so I respect him for this. And I'd like to elaborate on a couple of the topic subjects that he has and hope that the video could give a bit more explanation as to what the channel in the official Discord has. Is that right?
I guess so. Hello, everyone. My name is Void. I think some of you guys have seen me in the Discord channel, mostly in the suggestions, and some of you know me for my bad habit to making and creating some riots, being a bad person. But this is always for the good. This is not for that I hate everyone. It's that sometimes I'm getting too much upset. That this is maybe some of the emotions I have that I shouldn't spill it out to all of the people in the community section. But anyways, thank you, Cypher, for having me here. It's a big pleasure to making this video together. I really appreciate it. And hopefully everybody will enjoy this as me and you will do right now.
Indeed, yes. And I appreciate that a lot of people get that moment of blind rage where things are not so clear. So you kind of either do things or say things that you think hindsight comes to you after and goes, no, that wasn't a good idea, you know. And, you know, we live and learn.
Yeah, true. Anyways, regarding the Lost Crusade, yeah, there are some topics from, let's say, which were bothering me and maybe some of the people also, but I think this is, I'm not taking some small stuff, I'm taking big stuff currently on the plate. I'm taking 3 topics, and 3 topics are currently for today's video is the PvP, the UI itself, scans. I think scans need a little bit of a rework, how it should, how we should think about it. And heroes, the most sensible topic about the heroes is the rotation. And yeah, my idea was to have this interview with Cypher. Yet again, thank you very much for having me. And the topic is to take some kind of specific topics. Usually we will take 2 or 3. It depends how big the topic is. So we take these topics. I will suggest, of course, my suggestions. They maybe are not so good, but I cannot say they're completely bad. But the topic here is to take one of these ones. I will show what kind of ideas I have. And after that, for example, we can speak and also listen and hear from the community back what they think and what should be done to make this game better for the community. Because I'm a person who actually, I donated. I can't say much, but yeah, I have donated some of the money. But mostly I'm trying to defend free-to-play players because I think it's bad to have a community, for example, where most of the people are whales and developers listen only to whales, because a large amount of players are free-to-play, so free-to-play players. You cannot have the only opinion you should take is from the people who are paying you. That's bad for economics, and that's a bad decision because eventually big fish will eat small fish and there's nothing to eat. So big fish will either eat their own cousins, the whales, or they simply will be dead. And the game itself will be dead. Somehow like this.
I agree.
So let's maybe start from the PvP. For the PvP is the topic about the UI itself. So as you can see, I have taken some screenshots from the game, and this is the current UI we have. And there are some stuff which are there should be change. For example, we have a list. For example, if these guys are attackers, these guys are the defenders, and some of the stuff should be a little bit minimized and say, for example, the debuffs. It shouldn't be a big list. Rather, I would suggest having, for example, at least all the buffs, the same icons, and you can say it's X5 here, for example, rather than having a big list. Because as we have seen in Maelstrom, there were participants out of 13 people, 15 people. I have seen even more. So that means we will have a big ass list here, and I don't think that's healthy for the UI itself, and people can get confused. The second thing is when we go to the details tab, and here starts the biggest problem in the game with the UI. For example, we cannot understand, we see that this person called Dimoon was the rally leader, but if you will open the details, the attacker will be a random person. I have no idea how it filters it. Maybe some of the guys from the community know this, but I know that it filters randomly. And for example, here you see the scroller. This is a small thing. And for example, if you have 11 people, 11 people went with the dodge build. That means that you will have to find yourself, and it will take eternity to find yourself. You will have to scroll down to the bottomless, and I don't think that's the best solution.
And
also, yeah, the problem is with the tier list of units.
Yeah.
So what have I made? There are two types of things which I made. This is example number one. So we have the same detail tab. This is just a prototype of the people. So we have attacker, defender. You can click on it. You can switch from attacker to defender. But what's the thing? Rally leader has a special icon, and he's always on the top.
Right.
He's never in the bottom. He's never in the middle. He's only on the top because that's the first person who makes the rally. So he needs to be on the top.
Makes sense.
The second, yeah, definitely. The second person on the list is you.
Okay.
Yeah. Why is you? Because the reason is that rally leaders always will be on the top, and because you, for example, any player who was in this participating in this rally, rather than he will be on the fifth list or he again needs to find himself, he always needs to be, let's say, we will skip the rally leader, so we ignore him. He's number 0, but the first person you will see is you after the rally leader. That makes sense because you always want to find the stats from you. For example, what kind of damage I have done, maybe what was wrong, how much damage have I have taken, and etc., because you're always looking the information about yourself at
Exactly.
first.
Yeah, and it is really, really, really bothersome going through some reports, like especially like you're saying, rally reports. Like that bar is tiny, you can't touch it, like you can't move it from that bar. Technically, if you're careful enough and you get it right, you can move the drop down bar on the right hand side, can't you? And you can then move down the report a lot faster. But I find it doesn't work correctly. And it is just very, very slow process, and it could be a lot quicker.
Yeah, and the thing is, the much pain is, for example, if you're on the phone, we're taking phone devices here, we're not taking
Like
the
I do.
PC itself. Yeah, but the phone device is the biggest pain people can have because, as you said, if you will have, for example, a rally of 15 people and you need to scroll with your finger, with your biggest thumb, to place on a most smallest scroller on this planet,
Literally,
and
I've
to
done it,
try to
but it's like I've done it once like in my entire time of playing it, you know? And when I did, it went mental.
yeah,
Like it
I
obviously
completely
I scrolled
understand.
down a good percentage of the screen, which then it just passed so much so fast. I don't know what was going on, so it kind of glitched the screen.
Yeah, this is the problem also of the game, because, for example, as I said, if you will take a mobile device, and for example you have a mobile device which is not new, for example some kind of old Samsung, some kind of old iPhone,
Yeah,
it can glitch. For example, you will have 15 people in your rally, you want to scroll, bam, you have scrolled and you have a dodge wall. Everybody has a dodge wall from tier 1 to tier 9.
yeah,
What you will have a big list of loading, and the game can easily crash, or your phone can crash, or whatever.
yeah.
So this is example number one. I want to skip to number two because I myself prefer number two. So the idea here now, let me explain. These first two ones are minimized. So what's the idea here? We have a rally leader. He has a special icon. You can see already what kind of chapter he's in next to his name. And for example, on the minimized version, you can see the knight, the heroes he has selected, and the buffs or debuffs he have from the chapter or from the skills which you can select. And if you will maximize it, you can see all the information about the knight, or the gear, the power. You can see the information about the heroes. As you can see, name stars. So I haven't put heroes' names, but this makes sense.
Yeah.
And you have a list. Why this is much easier? Because for any kind of players, for us players, PvP is a thing where we want to understand what kind of combination of heroes is the best. Is it dodge setup? Is it counter attack? Is it the same? What was this? These guys, the stun build, or maybe a rebound build. So we always want to experiment, and we always want to have some kind of result and understanding what is the best solution to have. Correct. And the best thing is if we understand, for example, what kind of chapter this guy is, what kind of debuffs he used. And for example, on the next screen, the best thing for me is, rather than having a big ass list of all tiers, we will have, for example, as you have seen on the previous list, we will have knights, heroes, and below that, you will have unit section. So the unit section, currently we have 4 unit types. So we have predators, dreadnoughts, or 5. I'm sorry, I haven't put the 5th one with vanguards, but anyways, we have 5 of them.
Vanguards are not
You can see
important enough right now.
yeah, definitely. But anyways, we have 5 of them. So rather than having a big list of all units, you can have a selection.
Yeah. I love that idea.
5 of them. And for example, yeah, this is the point. Rather than scrolling forever, you can see, for example, you have selected, maybe you will have only one type, maybe you will have 2 types, maybe you will use dodge build, which will be nerfed in a month, I think, approximately. But anyways, select a type you want. And yeah, for people who have seen, yes, I made some mistakes here. It survived, but it survived. Anyways, you have ability of selection, the unit type, and you will see the information only for that unit. That is the best thing, rather than having this endless amount of text to read. I don't know how you feel about it, Cypher, but I think this would be a very good solution for every one of us.
100% I'm for this. You know, as all of this, as well as a lot easier of an ability to scroll through the report itself, you know, so that you can actually get to, like you said, to certain areas where you're fighting, so you can see how you're doing things and what you can change.
Definitely. Not many of us knows the formula behind the PvP mechanics. Not all of us know what is the cap. Not all of us know which skills are passive one, active one. Of course, there's some information on the Discord, but if we will take people who are not in the Discord, I think this should be transparent and more understandable. So we have preparation, and in preparation we will have two sections: the passive skills, the active skills. As we know, the passive skills, which will work for the whole rally, is only from the rally leader. And the idea behind it is that we will see the blue one, which is the buffs which we give to our rally, and the red ones, which are the debuff. For example, we have Talion as a hero, and he gives attack speed. For example, we will have another hero here, which will be Sanguinor, and he also gives attack speed. So we have combined the two attack speeds, and for example, it can have a cap. Because previously, when I was playing, I have no idea that, for example, attack speed, even if stacking, it cannot be 60%. The cap is 50%, not more. So it would be wise, in my opinion, to have an information what kind of buffs the rally leader gives to rally and debuffs. So you have this information, and beside that, you have the rally leader, the heroes, and the skills, where you can see, for example, because, for example, I want to know, maybe I have started to play this game. Maybe I haven't known about this information. For example, I would see that, okay, this hero gives this kind of buffs and debuffs to our enemies. And this will be much more transparent and understandable. Also, for the active skills, maybe it's a bit useless, but still, for example, the active skills will be for the stun, for example, that if in the rally there are people who will use Corsaro or Auger, and for example, he has ability to stun players, the counter attack, dodge, all these skills are active one. Also the buffs. Maybe on some of the point active skills could be completely useless, but from another point of view, if you're new to this game and still you want to understand how it works, it would be a good option to have, beside passive skill, to have an active skills. And another option, which I haven't mentioned here, is we had maybe from the Discord or Facebook, there was a message from the gadget in the Discord, or maybe there was a post from Facebook, how calculation goes behind the PvP. I think it would be also for the best to have something in the game which would be transparent and more understandable how the mechanics works, because I will give a praise to one person in this video. Maybe some of the people don't like him, maybe some of the people like him. There's a guy called Amorani, maybe I have mispronounced him, but I know that this guy is testing a lot of stuff, and he has done some recently a lot of testing with some kind of combinations with some units, and he knows that some of the formula doesn't work, there's bugs, but this is why maybe we need also to have this in the game itself to understand how the damage works, how the defense works, are actually percent correctly calculated. Maybe it is in the game, but usually how I see from the people in the community and how I start to read logs myself, I see that sometimes the information is a bit blurred. Because, for example, you can see that, okay, this is the formula, you start to calculate it, you start to test it, and sometimes the numbers are not correct. And you are starting to question yourself. Maybe the formula is not correct. Maybe the games have too many bugs. Maybe I'm not calculating it correct. So who is right in this situation? The more transparent the game will show us information, the better it will be.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know how
appreciate
you
that.
feel about it.
I remember, like, when I first started this, I was exactly the same. It took me a fair while to really grasp how some of the attributes are actually working, and that whole, like you said, as an example, the speed cap, that I didn't know that at first. And then there's other things to this day that I can still say, like Maya's skill. There's things about it that we just still don't know, and we haven't been given enough information to really clarify anything. Like, if they give us some explanation as to how it's supposed to work 100% fully in a bit more detail than what they give in game, I'm pretty certain that we could put a few more tests towards it in different ways to sort of see whether it's actually working that way. But the issue is that they don't really seem to want, in game, it just doesn't want to give you enough information. So you kind of second guessing everything. And then when you see a report that isn't quite right, like you say, you kind of start questioning yourself, did I do that right? But it might not be. It could be simply that there's a little nippy bug right there.
Yeah, true. Because, for example, from the community side, I know that a lot of players, for example, old players from old sectors, I know that they have tested a lot of things, they know a lot of things, and maybe some of them are sharing this, maybe they are not. For example, after seeing this, they will say that this is rubbish. All the things you have in PvP is transparent. For me, it's not. Because of still, I was arguing to the end that, for example, rebound doesn't have a cap until some person, I can't remember his name, but we had a conversation and he sent me a lot of screenshots after testing, even a video proving that rebound had a cap. For me, that was a big shock because I thought that, what's the point? I mean, you have 3 heroes and you will have a rebound, let's say, I can't remember the whole numbers, but let's say 60% or 65%. For me, okay, that's good. I mean, the more the better, correct? But when he told me it's the 50% is cap, the same as the speed, dodge, and etc., I was like, okay, but how do you know? How can you prove this? You start to question.
Yeah. And then it's like, so
I know.
you need someone who has like a max Garrodon and then a max Narcissus to actually really test this, you know? So it's like really hard to find the people to test it.
Yeah, this is the same as you said with Mia, because for me, Mia, I wanted to spare her for the second video because she has some skills and she is one of the heroes which I wanted to mention in the second video when we will make it, about that she needs to have a rework in the future. But if we will take her now as an example, I think that the all the heroes which have skill with debuff, for example, you have some kind of percentage to make a debuff for another player. I can't remember how the text stated, but the logic here is that she has the ability. For example, if we will take, who can we take? For example, Seth. He has some kind of active skill, and for example, she can completely take it off, completely nullify it. But for me, it was a mystery because the more testing I have done with her, the more rapid. And the problem for me is that when I was donating, I rushed this hero to the maximum. So I actually did pay for this hero, and in the end, it turned out she was hot garbage.
Pretty much, yeah. From my understanding, from what I've seen in terms of information, it seems that one of her skills just seems to be glitched. It's supposed to work in a timeout stage that's not in the battle stage at all. So it can't work. That's even after the rework. But we'll get into that in the next video, yeah?
Yeah,
We'll put it on
definitely.
a
Because
little
this is,
edge.
yeah, for sure.
Right,
Okay,
so
this was the idea behind the PvP, and let's. So, I wanted to speak about the scans because this is an official map which I took from the Warhammer wiki, and this will not be in the game. I know that for sure. I'm not. Maybe I'm not being positive. I'm being completely negative. But, anyways, the scans. Currently in the game, we have 19 levels, and that's a max in the game. And for me, the problem, for me and maybe for other people, the problem is it doesn't matter what kind of scan level you have. For me, it's that the percent of having a mission which doesn't make sense is bigger than having a sense. Again, I'm not saying that somebody made something bad or there's no or that the solution is the worst. Maybe there's a logic behind it. But if you would ask me, for me it is the higher level you have, the less epic missions you should have. For example, I agree that there's a mistake in the percent. So I'm apologizing this. I haven't fixed this. There's a typo. There should be 75% here and 75% here. But anyways, the logic here is, for example, we start the game and we are at level 1 from 10 till 10. The percent of having epic missions should be 75%, and having legendary ones should be 25%. And with the scales of level, the percent rises and decreases. Because, for example, the scan levels, which are epic ones, which are purple color, it doesn't make sense to have on a higher level scan. Because, for example, currently we had Erinika, Lysander, and now we have Niall, the Space Wolf guy. And for example, we get some of his fragments, other heroes' fragments, and rewards. But for me, it makes sense to have on the higher level of a scan to have less missions, which are epic ones, and more missions, which are legendary ones. Because what's the point of farming this all the time, all the day, if you are not getting proper rewards from that? And in the end, when there are a lot of people who have scan level maxed, so it's 7,000 out of 7,000, what should be done? For example, we have scans 2 out of 2. And for example, if I believe we have 3 out of 2, for example, the first one, and you can manually refresh this 2 times. Maybe I'm wrong, but anyways. If you have done all the missions, so there should be a calculation in the code that if you are max level, so you have a max level 19, and for example, you have done all the scans from 1 to till the end with all the missions. So it should be some kind of code which will actually calculate this. In the end, you will have a boss event. There's going to be only one mission with a boss with special rewards, which will be, I would suggest to have unique fragments, which are legendary ones, because most of us people need that. Some kind of recipes or even fragments for armor and for some kind of stuff like that. I wouldn't say that resource is a thing to have in these missions, but the harder the mission, the harder the boss event is, the more it should focus on rewarding people the stuff they actually need. These are either unique fragments or to have a box with hero fragments, all hero fragments. Not only, for example, a selection of 3 or 4, but all legendary hero fragments in the games. And it will be a box of 10, for example. And people would have a choice. Maybe 10 is a lot, okay, maybe I'm speaking some rubbish, but let's say 5. Let's say less, it doesn't matter. But for me, 5 is enough. It's somewhere in the middle.
I mean, they probably accept 10 if you were to allow it to, like, let's say you fully maxed everything, so there's no going up past any more levels, and so therefore there's no potential for a boss thing. You allow the boss area, spot, whatever, to appear on a random basis, but rarely. So it's just harder to come by, but it may appear within your scan, and if it does, you can gain yourself some really nice rewards from it.
Yeah, that's the point, because for me, the scan level is, yeah, I'm currently farming the legendary hero, which is which we have as a rotation, because previously, as I said, it was Lystanda. Now we have Nyal. So currently, you don't have this, like currently you go into a game, you're like, okay, scans, whatever, let me farm the hero fragments and that's all. And the thing is that percentage of legendary hero dropping is not also 100%. It can be from maybe these missions. Yet again, the fix, which I would include, that you don't have to go through these missions, because it takes a lot of time to watch the same thing, and you're not doing anything. I mean, if you ask me, I'm setting this to auto. I'm not even putting some kind of effort to the missions with the heroes. Usually put it to auto. I just go do something, maybe watch something. Rarely I watch actually the scene, because I know the max heroes will kill and will finish this mission anyways. So what's the point of having it? I don't see any point. It would be much better if we could skip it. I don't know if you agree with that, but I think it's better to skip it.
Yeah, I've heard a few people mention that sort of having a skippable ability through the scan and expeditions.
Let's say it like this. For example, maybe I think it would be much better if there would be a skippable option from level 16. Scan level
Yeah, yeah.
16, you have an ability to skip these missions, because actually, what's the point? For example, I'm scan level 19. That means 100%. I was in the game for a long time. I have maxed heroes, because even you can finish these missions with epic heroes most of the time.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna use what? You're gonna use Alistair for the buff itself. You can use Dex, and you can use the legendary heroes, which everybody will get to the max and will have a lot of fragments of her. It's Erinica. So this is a triple hero set which you can use for any kind of missions, and it will be okay to finish them in the scan. You will not have any problems, and you don't need any kind of knight in the end.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, you literally just let it go and go. It would be nice to have the ability just to skip it. They've given us like a 2 times speed. You may as well give a skip. It's exactly the same, really. Like it's just a bit quicker. That's all.
Yeah, in that case, if you don't want to give us the skip, okay, no problems. Give us the speed of 5, so it will be not in 10 seconds, in 1 second. I don't
Yeah,
mind
that makes
that.
sense. Yeah. And definitely, I love the fact of what you're saying in terms of the lesser epics. Like it really does nothing for a base level 40. Like they give
The,
minimal stuff and then they give you some Cordis.
yeah, that's the problem, because if the game itself would have kind of implementation of heroes of different types, let's say if they would have heroes which are epic, or which are blue ones, the rare ones. For example, rather than having the 4 basic ones, and I can't remember how many epic heroes we had, but if we hadn't this default set of heroes, and we would know that in the future they will bring more heroes, I don't mind to have actually the epic missions, which are purple color, because I know that I have the ability to farm new set of heroes, which maybe are not legendary ones, maybe they are not so good, but still we would have something different. But as currently, the official and the gadget himself told that they have no plans on the table to bring new rare heroes, which are the blue colors, and no new epic heroes, which are purple color. I don't see any point on Battle Barge 40 or even 39 or 38, or it doesn't matter, to have missions in purple color, which is epic, because the rewards are, well, let's be honest. Maybe I will use not a good mannered word, but
Abysmally
if you
bad.
will, yeah, if we will speak about this meteor missions, which have this question mark, it goes the same. If you have actually done them, you see that the rewards are very poor. For example, you are Battle Barge 40. If you will get only 10k of each resource or only one resource, what does it give you? To be honest, to be fair, nothing.
Absolutely
Completely
nothing.
useless.
And there was one like small moment in time where the question marks, the legendary ones specifically, were okay, and that was during the early part of Milestorm. It kind of bugged out, I think, and it was given 2 fragments every time instead of Arinica.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know if it was bugged because in Milestone I enjoyed scans a lot. I didn't care if it's an epic one, it's a legendary one, but I know that you can refresh. You could click refresh, you could have in only one scan approximately 20 missions, even more, maybe 30, maybe 40. I can't remember. I spent a lot of stamina in Milestone. That was good investment.
Yeah.
And the last thing which I wanted to mention about the scans is we are having too much of information about the scan messages. For example, when you click the message itself, you can see what kind of drops it has. After that, you complete the mission, you have this message that you have received it. After you can click any kind of place, you will see that this rewards again. And if you will go to your email, which will be highlighted, you see this message again. So, I mean, 4 times it's too much. We can have step 1, we can cross it out because, yeah, it's a mission, we should see it. And it's enough to skip 2 or 1 at least.
Yeah, I get
This
you.
messages, because for me it's like endless clicking. I like, okay, I have seen it, I know the chances. Okay, I see that there was a chance to have Arinica or Lysander. This is from all times. For example, okay, I have Arinica, good. Step 3, I get the message again, I go to the email, I see the same stuff again. That's completely useless. But they should consider to have less this messaging.
Yeah, step 2 is definitely really annoying. It's really, really hard to get off it sometimes.
Now, apologizing that I actually haven't saved my PowerPoint presentation, so I had to get these screenshots from the Discord suggestions. But anyways, the things which I wanted to speak today is the hero rotation, which we actually need. And to start with, I will take my old idea about the hero boxes or crates, which are currently in the game. And we have Breach of the Storm, we have Battle for Ennio, and Breach Assault. So they are currently free crates. Maybe there are more, but I'm using my old screenshots. So if there are actually more, people can easily tell me. I will fix this in the future.
Yeah, there are a few.
So
There are a few more. There's Void Supremacy has crate.
the last topic, which is a pain in the ass for many of us, is heroes rotation. I'm apologizing that I actually haven't saved my PowerPoint presentation, so I had to get these screenshots from the Discord suggestions. But anyways, the things which I wanted to speak today is the hero rotation, which we actually need. And to start with, I will take my old idea about the hero boxes or crates, which are currently in the game. And we have Breach of the Storm, we have Battle for Ennio, and Breach Assault. So they are currently free crates. Maybe there are more, but I'm using my old screenshots. So if there are actually more, people can easily tell me. I will fix this in the future.
Yeah, there are a few.
So,
there are a few more. There's Void Supremacy has crate. Challenge.
I just want to keep up with the stuff. So what's the idea? The idea is I will use my old stuff that, for example, let's take Breach of the Storm. currently we have 3 fragments. I think it's not changed. We have Lysander, Ulrich, and Shrek, if I'm saying this correctly. So
In Sector 2 right now, it will be Garadon, Irenica, and Maya is the fragments that you get on the daily basis, and I think that's the
but
same over on the weekly basis as well. You get the same
but
help.
this is no, but this is Breach of a Storm. This is
Oh,
not
my bad.
Breach.
I was thinking Breach of Soul.
Yeah. No. We will go to
I
that. Don't worry.
apologize.
Don't worry. No. It's not. From the beginning, everybody participated in the Breach of a Storm because that was something, one of the biggest events from the start of the game, where you can participate in different challenges, collecting resource, building some buildings. For example, you have technologies and etc. etc. Hero leveling, army, making some army, healing them, and the PvP, which was the kill event, the last
Yeah.
one. The classic. But my idea was that I think that rather than having crate of only 3 heroes, it would be wiser, for example, if we would save heroes from previous seasons. For example, if we will take season 1. The season 1 was Shrike. The season 1 hero was Shrike. So I think that it would be better if we would save all the heroes which previously were as a reward to this crate, because it would give also a classical vibe, but it will also have this ability to give people an option to farm the hero they want from this event. For example, I haven't ability to get Kronos, because for now you cannot get anywhere Kronos. But yet again, he's not the best hero, but I'm taking as an example. For example, or Shrike, even Shrike, because I have him 6 stars and I'm still missing some fragments. So if I would have option to have heroes from previous seasons, maybe I need to max them, so it would be a great option to have them also.
Yeah, I like that
Because
idea.
that gives people the option to select. Because when you're giving, for example, we had previous seasons, for example, Shrike, Kronos, Ulrich, Lysander, etc., etc. But we will cut it off, and you will have only two heroes for the selection. I mean, the more heroes we have for selection, the better it is. The people will more. For example, I'm not participating in Breach of Storm because, for example, I don't need Ulrich. I have Lysander almost maxed, so I also don't need him, and I don't see any kind of point on participating in this event, because what's the point if I'm not getting those fragments which maybe I would need? I'm not saying I actually critically need Kronos, but the point is it's much better if there's an event which is season based, because Breach of Storm is season based event. You have one season, you have this hero, the second season you have another one. It's better to have a season-based crate. All old heroes will go in the history. You can always get them, but there's also an option to get a new one rather than a small amount of the selection of the heroes. Yet again, speaking about rotation, which will be in the end of this video, I think the best option will be always to have a quarter, uh, to have always a quarter rotation, because you have 3 months. In 3 months, it's enough to collect many fragments you want from the events. Or maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think that's a brilliant idea. Like, a lot of people are deterred right now purely because they don't want to put the sacrifice in. When it comes to Breach the Storm, kill day really does create a bit of a sacrifice. You're paying a lot by the end of it. So when it comes to that, like, a lot more people would actually want to put the sacrifice in if they can get certain heroes that they're still currently working on that was probably within the earlier branch of these fragments release.
Yeah, I also think that way. But I also would insist, because if many people have already read my text, I also would insist that someday there should be a hero fragment, Auger, and you will see how a lot of people, maybe the whole sector, will participate in the Breach of the Storm. You will see how popular this event will be.
Oh
Again.
yes, if they did it just like even once a year, just for the novelty value, I guarantee that one will be outstandingly crazy.
Yeah, definitely. You will see a lot of players participating in this and trying to get the first place, because I haven't tested Auger a lot, but maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not, but I think that the stun duo of Auger and Corsaro at the max is a very good build. Maybe not against the dodge build, but overall it's very good build.
He works brilliantly as a single hero as well. I do have him myself 4-star, and he's at 13 gear and such. Even the only 4-star coming 5-star, he's at like over, well, almost 220k in terms of power. And when it comes to battle reports, he's brilliant to read. If he pops off,
Yeah,
he can really disable things.
yeah, definitely. So now we move to a topic which you have mistaken with Breach of Assault.
Yes.
Now, to be fair, I have completely zero problems with current Breach Assault box. The only thing which I would actually add, the vibe I'm having is that Breach Assault is more of a, not demon invasion, but it's behind the Demon Prince, all this warp stuff. So I would have added some maybe heroes which are Inquisition based, for example,
Yeah.
Greythax. I get that Tech Priests are not Inquisition based, but still I will add him as an alternative. And I think the boxes should include some kind of materials for crafting, because none of the boxes, or maybe none of the rewards from Breach Assaults, give you opportunity to farm some kind of gear. I think there should be anyways some missions which, even Breach Assault, I'm not saying you should get a lot of them, because it's still farming gear is a lot of effort, but I think still that Breach Assault is made perfectly to reward people with some kind of gear for craft.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. That actually aligns totally, well, pretty perfect with it.
Yeah, as I said here in the text, let Stupid Demon Prince drop some scraps. I mean,
That's
that would be
amazing.
perfect. And the globally, which I always thought that some of the people were saying that it's bad for economics, but I still insist, and I still think that if we would have a global rotation everywhere, for example, the VIP shops, not VIP shops, but the donation shop where you can buy currently is Lazarus. So if that would change, if breach of assault, if scans, if missions, and all the stuff, all the events, all the things inside the game would have a rotation, a global rotation. For example, um, there was a message from Gadget, as you have seen lately, or maybe not, that there's going to be a Milestone Season 2, and there are going to be two heroes in the game, which is Grey Knights, Crow and Drago. And currently they introduced
Harold.
Space Wolf Hero Herald, and they also made a statement that there's going to be a new chapter in the December. So it's going to be Space Wolves, the Space Furies, where I would insist, for example, you are introducing a new chapter, which is Space Wolves. Make a rotation. Make people to get out of scans Ragnar. Make special events where there's an extra loot where you can get some kind of heroes which are based to the chapter which you have introduced us. For example, not for a month, maybe for a month that's too much, for at least for 2 weeks. So we are introducing in December Space Wolf. There's going to be update and this and this and that. You have a small chance to get Space Wolf, random Space Wolf heroes. We have many of them. We have Ulrich. Oh, let me go back. We have Niall. We have Ragnar. Now we have Harold. So we have already 4 heroes. Maybe they will introduce the 5th or the 6th hero in December. Who knows? But to have some kind of special events which allows you to farm with a special percent heroes based on the chapter, that also would be good. For example, I would appreciate it. You introduced us with Space Wolves. Get some special events.
That would really encourage people to spend a bit of crystal as well, because, like, to be honest, if that were to happen, I think I'd be going to becoming Blood Angel very fast. Yeah, so that it gets me Mephiston fragments, or at least I get the chance to. So then you're encouraging, it does, as well as it evening the board for everybody in terms of everyone getting more access to the ability of upgrading heroes. You're also giving that drive to the business as well. Like, yes, spend crystals now, because I know I would spend 10k straight away.
Yeah, this is also the thing that most of the heroes are hard to get, because I wanted to spare this topic for the second video. But the thing is that, for example, if we will take such heroes as the Black Templar Auger, if we will take the Black Angels Mephiston, or even if we will take the hero who is impossible to get, Calgar, what is the chance? What are the events where you can get it? Hero spin, okay. If you are free to play player, you are not paying a dime, you are not paying a cent. You have to do a special missions or events. How much chance you have to get at least 20 fragments? Very low chance, because the missions doesn't allow you. And the thing is, I'm not trying to complain, and I'm not trying to blame anyone, but I know that as a person who have spent money for spin wheel event, I know that the chances to getting heroes has been decreased. This is not official statement from officials or the game developers. This is a statement from me, a player who's played the game. I have noticed, because I have spent, I will not say what kind of amount of money I have spent to get Mephiston, but for me, spending this ridiculous amount of money to get only 40 or 30 fragments heroes of Mephiston is complete joke. Let's say it like this. I will not be rude. But if you gave us opportunity, a rotation, or any kind of special events where you have chance to get the heroes which are hard to get, everybody would appreciate it. It's not bad for the economy, because I'm not saying that there always can be limitation. For example, the maximum amount of fragments for this hero in 3 months in 1 quarter is, for example, 100 or 60. So in 1 year, in all 4 quarters, you will have 400 of them, or 2050. It doesn't matter the amount. So it shouldn't be completely less, like 100, because that's a joke. In a year to get 100 fragments of a hero, that's a joke. But if, for example, you can get 250 or 350, etc., that's a good amount. Maybe it's even less. I don't know. Maybe it should be higher. But still, I'm saying the fact that, for example, it's hard to get for free-to-play players Calgar. It's
Yeah, I mean,
impossible.
even
The
when
math
he's
is
like
fun.
at the higher fragment level, yeah, then you're looking at getting like you need 500 on the last one, isn't it? So that's gonna take a while, even if it's being given out.
Yeah, definitely. The same goes for other heroes like Belial, Samael. Okay, Samael, we have the the event which we ask them to get back, but still, I mean, there are a lot of heroes which should be rotation change. For example, Vitellion. I'm not saying the current event for Tillion with orcs is bad. I'm saying that it has passed a lot of time. Talion should rest, and we should get a new hero. For example, Samael, or maybe Avar, or maybe someone else. It
Okay,
doesn't
yeah.
matter. But there should be rotation for new heroes also. Because for me, the biggest problem in the game is that if I will get always the same old faces like Kanto, Lysandra, Shrike, or the heroes which I have, we will again collect them in our backpack. The same stuff which we had the issue with Erenica. There's going to be this Fragment change event, which is awful. The best event for Fragment change was in Milestone.
Yeah, by
I
far.
really, yeah, I really appreciate that idea. I really like how they done it because I finally had the chance to get rid of a lot of useless stuff, which
Yes.
to which I can finally say thank you. Thank you, developers, for making this kind of event.
I totally appreciate that. I was exactly the same. As soon as that page appeared, I knew it was coming because I was in the test server. But when that page appeared, I knew I was going to be unloading a lot.
To be honest, this is all the things which I wanted to say in this our first video in our first prototype of the interview. So these are all the ideas I had for today. I will really appreciate from everyone if you could leave a comment. I'm not a sensitive person, so you can say anything you want. If my ideas are bad, if this topic doesn't make sense, if it would be better like this, I just want to hear from the community, the voice of the community, how they feel, what kind of ideas they have, and I really appreciate the time, Cypher, you have spent on me. It was a really big pleasure, although maybe I have took the stage
No,
for
that's all right.
myself.
No, it's all about you, really. It's all about your suggestions. So I want to hear all about it, innit? And hopefully we can do a couple more videos like this and see how it goes.
Yeah, for the future, to be honest, I want to maybe to have other people also to speak. Maybe for the next time, I would appreciate if we would make this video, make this like half and half. For example, I will speak some of my topics, you will speak some of your topics as a suggestion, ideas, what kind of stuff would be great for the game. Because to be honest, I still play this game, although maybe I spend not a lot of time as I have spent it previously. But for me, the fight is for the community because I love all the people inside the Discord. I really respect them. I respect their time, and all of them are great people for me. Although I don't know none of them in reality, I haven't seen them. I have no ideas how they look, what kind of people they are, but there's another level of respect for the community from my side. So big love to everyone. It is a pleasure to always give some kind of suggestions from my side. Maybe I have not a lot of time to give all the ideas, but I really appreciate the support and I really appreciate the people who are uh, struggling and making some kind of things and pushing our Discord channel even to further stages. Because for me, also just an off topic, I would appreciate if we would have some kind of people from the new verse, like a one developer or QA person in this Discord channel so we can question them, because Gadget is not anymore around us. He's just coming in, giving us some kind of announcement, and that's all. Because previously we could see Bella Pitch and Munir. There were 3 people which I know which are the officials, but now I see none. But anyways, much love to the community, and big thanks to you, Cypher, for your work which you are doing. And thank you for having me here and to give me an opportunity to make this interview video with me. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
That's okay. It's brilliant. It's brilliant to have you, and it's brilliant to be here myself, personally. As well as that, yeah, I agree. The community in itself, not just in terms of my own sector, but all sectors so far that I've come across in terms of communicating with, they all seem to be awesome. So, like the community, I've been through a couple of game style communities, and this one seems to be so far so good, the better one. So thank you very much for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment if you'd like to. Much appreciated if you do. Bless up.